Hello and welcome back to Alderman Farms. We're going to show you our storm preparations before, during, and after. Tommy is tying down the goat hut better. We never did finish tying down the sides because we're going to do something different with them, and we've not done it yet, so he is just battening down the hatches. Of course, this is no match for a tornado.
So according to the local weather, they're predicting like the most severe weather that we've had, I think, in 7 years or something like that. And it was kind of alarming this morning. You know how they show colors of severe, extreme, blah, blah, blah. Well, the local weather guy said, ignore all that. It's all bad. You know, it said our entire viewing area is expecting devastating weather.
They say they don't even have a care in the world. They don't know we're going to have bad weather. But this one right here will be telling us soon to put him inside. I've moved some of my plants that I overwintered out to get some sunshine and rain, and so they're going to have to go back. You see, I have lots of things I've got to move. I have been planting seeds yesterday. All that's got to be moved. All my seed trays. All my floor is still out here that I haven't got to yet, and hopefully it's going to stay there. Hopefully it won't get blown away. We don't have as much stuff in the front to deal with. Of course, y'all see all of our pine trees. There's nothing we can do about our pine trees. And of course, we know any preparations we make is really no match for tornadoes. Front porch doesn't have as much stuff on it, but we will tie down the trampoline, and the boat that's over there is actually tied to the tree too. You know, but they're predicting high winds, so if we do have things secure with the high winds, hopefully we won't suffer any damage from that. We've got to go over to the high tunnel and deal with that area over there too and close it up. All right, now this is done. I guess we may take this old heater down and put it on the ground. I forgot about that. But anyway, so we've gotten most of the stuff picked up. These chairs are left out. We sit out here a lot, and the weather's not coming through till this evening, so we're going to leave those right there for the time being. We've got our green stalk planter up in here in that little corner. What's wonderful about it is it has wheels. All I did was roll it right out. I've got my seedlings here. This is kind of an inset. It's kind of inset right here to help protect them, but we can still get in and out the doors. I've got these chairs pushed all the way up against the wall. Usually the wind will come in from this direction, so hopefully that will be okay. And I took down my table. Sorry, there it is right there. And I stacked my chairs up. I have them right here. I'll probably move my four-wheeler further up under here where it won't get wet. And Tommy has gone over to the high tunnel to take care of it. Now I'm going to head inside and get some food going because that's part of our preparations. Using my Instant Pot book today, I am making split pea soup. Got all the ingredients ready. I have my chopped onion, my ham, my potato. I don't have carrots or celery, so they're not going in there. My split peas, my water, and I get my split peas from Azure Standard. The link to them are down in the description of the video. And this is my pink Himalayan salt. Split pea soup is very easy. Just going to add split peas to the pot. I like to add a little salt before I put water. And I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon of salt because you can always add more. Then you're just going to have to add, then I'm going to add my onions and my ham and my potatoes. And then add 8 cups of water. I forgot to say you can add a little bit of pepper to it also. Give that a quick little stir. Put your lid on. Close your vent. And we're going to cook it on manual, high pressure for 20 minutes. If you're interested in my little Instant Pot book, if you're not familiar with your Instant Pot, we do sell them. They're $5. It's an ebook and it has basic recipes in it. The split pea soup is done. I have released all the steam. We did a quick release. And we'll open the pot and see what it looks like. Now, split pea soup is very, very watery at first. And as it cools, it will thicken up. So there is my soup. I can't wait to eat it. We're having it for lunch. Next, I'm going to make squash bisque, and that's also in my little Instant Pot book. It calls for 1 cup of chicken broth, which that's a little bit more, and I've already put it in the pot. I had it frozen, and this is my squash. I had it frozen also, and I've thawed it a little bit. So I'm going to add that to the pot, and then I'm going to also add in 1 chopped onion. It doesn't have to be small. 3 medium-sized potatoes, half a stick of butter. It does call for carrots, but I'm out of carrots, and we're going to put in some salt and some Tony's. All right, I've got all my ingredients in. We're going to put the lid on. I'm going to close my vent, and we're going to cook that on high pressure for 4 minutes. Everything is actually cooked in here except the potatoes, so that's why we only have to cook for 4 minutes. All right, once your squash bisque has finished cooking, you could do a quick release and let it cool. I've been having this sit on the counter for a little while. Then you're going to want to put it in the food processor and puree it. That's why you could leave your potatoes and onions in such big chunks, because it's going to go through the food processor. This is what it looks like once it's done. It's very smooth, no chunks in it at all. And you're going to add about 1 cup of milk. And what I do is I put the milk in my food processor and I pulse it around a little bit. And I know I'm using my blender bowl, but I pulse it around a little bit to clean out all the goodness that's left in there from your soup. Is the finished product. I poured my milk in, and this is the consistency we like. If you like a thinner soup, you can add more milk, or if you like a thicker soup, don't add as much. Also taste it to make sure you have enough salt and Tony's, and then it's ready to eat. Next, I'm going to make rolls, and this is my wheat roll recipe, but I'm using spelt, and it's 1 cup of water and 1 egg. See, 1/4 of a cup of sugar, a tablespoon of yeast. Oh, and I'm doing it in my food processor with a dough blade because my mixer has quit on me. Okay, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. I don't think I told y'all that I get my spelt flour from Azure Standard also. Get a very good price on it there. Let's see. Yeast. All right, I'm gonna put 1/4 of a cup of butter. And I also put my chia seeds and my flax. This is flax. You put a heaping teaspoon of flax and about a 1/2 teaspoon of chia seeds and about a 1/2 teaspoon of psyllium husk. I'm going to put all that in to begin with. Let me make sure. That was yeast, salt, butter, sugar, egg, water, and my other stuff. And so I'm going to mix this up right quick, and then I'm going to start adding my flour to it. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put part of the whole grain spelt flour in here. I'm going to put 1 cup of it. Calls for about a total of 3 cups of flour. And I'm going to put half my flour in here, so I'm going to go ahead. Well, I'm going to put a cup of the other spelt flour in here, and then that'll leave me a cup left to go. This may work good. It's looking pretty good. And this is, I usually have to add a little bit more flour to it, so I'm going to go ahead and put my other cup. So this is going to make a total of 3 cups of flour. And if you wanted, you could do this with white flour or half wheat, part wheat and part white. That's what I used to do, but now I just use spelt. I guess you have to be careful using a blender, though. I guess you could really overmix your bread. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of stuck up around on the sides, so that's what I'm doing, is scraping that down some. And once I get this mixed up how I want it, I think I'm going to add a little bit more flour to it because it seems pretty wet. Then you'll turn it into an oiled bowl and let it rise until it doubles in size. And then you would make it into rolls or hot dog buns or hamburger buns, whatever you want. Oh, that's right, I have some sloppy joe stuff in the fridge, so I think I'm going to make some hamburger buns and some rolls. We can have ham sandwiches if we want, but I want to have some. That was about 1/4 of a cup of flour, by the way. We want to have some rolls with our squash bisque today. Okay, now that's still a pretty wet dough, but I'm going to leave it like that because I can use a little more flour later. I don't know. That seems pretty wet. I think I'm going to add another 1/4 of a cup of flour to it. So that's going to make a total of 3.5 cups. Yeah, that looks a lot better. It's not near as sticky looking, but it's still a very moist dough. I wanted to show you, this was a mess. I couldn't hardly get it out of here. So what I'm doing is I'm sprinkling some flour around the edges, and I'm moving it around to get the flour underneath where I can get it in my bowl because it's really, really sticky. I've never used the food processor to make bread. So anyway, I wanted to show you that where if you had a hard time getting it out of your bowl, you would know how to do it. So, and that got it out pretty good. And then I've got all in this bowl already, and I'm just going to turn my dough over one time, and I'll just let it rise from there. All right, we had a little scare. The power went out as soon as I got through making up this dough. You're going to want oiled hands. And so I didn't know what I was going to do with all this dough, but it came back on. So I'm going to get it made up, and it's still, look how soft it is. I'm going to add a little more flour to it because I think it's just a little too soft. So I'm gonna knead in just a little more flour to try and make it a little bit stiffer of dough. And then I'm going to roll it up into my rolls really quick. I was going to make some cookies for us because you know I like my sweets, but instead, when the power came back on, I went and got a bath right quick. And got the bathtub full of water because when our power goes out, we're on a well, so we don't have water, so we have to have water poured up or filled up in the bathtub to be able to flush our toilets. Plus, I needed water to be able to wash dishes, so we've got all that done too. Tommy did that for me. So I'm going to quickly make rolls. And what I do is I divide the dough in half. It should make about 18 rolls. I should have divided it into thirds, I guess. Now I'm just splitting each one in half. It's 4. It'd be 8 times 2 would be 16. So that'll be about right, because then I'm going to make some hamburger buns too for us out of this dough. And the way I make my hamburger buns, I just roll it in a ball. And I put it on the sheet. And I smush it like that. I'm going to do the same things with my little buns because I want to be able to use those for ham too. I'm going to make those a little bit smaller than my hamburger buns. Now here are my rolls made up here, and then my 2 hamburger buns. And I'll bake these on 400 for about 10 minutes once they've risen. Well, it's 4:45. It looks more like it is 7 o'clock at night because the time has changed. It still looks kind of bright out in the picture, I can see, but it actually is very, very overcast. It's starting to thunder, have light drizzle. My hair dried by itself because I was busy. I've got the rolls in the oven baking. I did get some cookies made, and so we're just about set. We're going to eat an early supper in case we lose power, and I don't have to deal with that in the dark. I believe I got them out of the oven just in time. The rain is coming down now. Well, we have very, very good news. Everything did fine yesterday during the storm. Everything is still standing here at AldermanFarms, and we are very, very thankful that it was a non-event for us.